This is a Women at Web podcast series powered by KICTAnet, supported by DW Academy. Women at Web seeks to raise women's voices in multiple online platforms and a diverse range of subjects. KICTAnet has carried out advocacy campaigns and digital security and literacy training. Women at Web is also an initiative at a regional level as well as a national level that teams up with AMWIK, the Association of Media Women in Kenya, and Siasa Place.
Hello and karibu. My name is Vanessa Wanjiku, a gender and community engagement expert. Today we'll be discussing the rise of online gender-based violence, and I'm joined by my guest, Cecilia Maundu. Karibu, Cecilia.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cecilia Maundu. I'm a broadcast journalist. I'm a holistic security trainer. I champion for the rights of girls, women, and minority groups online. And I'm also a struggling podcaster.
I like that. So today we'll be discussing the rise of online gender-based violence and the use of internet versus the rise of online gender-based violence. So what are the myths and misconceptions you have around online gender-based violence, Cecilia?
First of all, the greatest myth is that online gender-based violence is not real violence. And people believe just because it's not physical doesn't make it any violent.
Yes.
And because of the patriarchal society that we live in, that myth is enhanced by how people behave. And a patriarchal society is a violent society.
Yes.
However, just because it takes place on the online platform doesn't make it less violent. Online violence is real violence, and the same effects that people experience through physical violence are the same effects that people experience on online violence.
Yes. Because people, rather men, tend to think that it's all jokes and banter, especially on Twitter when opinionated women talk about issues that are affecting them, and they're downplayed or rather degraded into something that's not of value. You see, that's one of the misconceptions I believe in that surrounds with women on online spaces. So, in your own words, how would you explain what online gender-based violence is?
Well, online gender-based violence is violence that takes place on the online platform. It takes place on digital devices like phones, computers. It's violence that is experienced online, and there are different types of online violence. There's doxing, which is from the word document, whereby your authentic information is put online for malicious purposes. For example, they put your name, where you live, your parents' name, your phone number, and people are able to get authentic information about you, and they can use it against you. There's sextortion, and which has been very rampant during this COVID-19 period. There's abuses, there's cyberbullying, there's cyber harassment. There's so many types of online violence.
Some of the experiences that I have seen with women being bullied online is when, for example, like you're in a relationship with a guy and you guys break up. So your ex-partner goes online and posts vile information of you, like leaking your nude pictures, or even just writing information that's not true about yourself. That's a kind of online gender-based violence that many women are suffering from.
Yeah. Well, the popular term is revenge porn. However, it's not supposed to be called revenge porn, because when you're making that video or taking those photos, it was not for porn purposes. So it's called non-consensual sharing of private information.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Is there any interconnection between online and offline gender-based violence?
Of course, because the violence that has been experienced for years by these minority groups, and minority groups, I mean women, girls and even the LGBT community has been on the physical world for years, and now it has moved online. And online makes it very easier for the perpetrators, because now they can use anonymous account, and more to that, because the law is yet to catch up with technology. So many of these perpetrators of this violence just go scot-free.
Yes.
So, and sometimes the online violence also moves offline. You find people who've been harassed online and they end up being attacked. We've seen cases of girls being killed because it started on the online platform and then it moves to the offline platform. There's a big connection, and remember, it is deep-seated rooted issues that have been there for years that are now being put open on the online platform.
Yes.
And online violence is even harder, not even on the victim, on their families.
Yes.
Because these are the most affected. You know, sometimes the victim the victim is dead in this scenario. But what about their families?
Yes.
And that is the careless talk that has been going on. And with each passing day, it dramatically increases. It dramatically intensifies.
Yes. When does it end? When does it stop? How do we fight this?
And that is the key question. When does it stop?
Yes.
And as you said, you talked about most women who are attacked are women with voices online.
Yes, willpowered women.
Yes, willpowered women. And the society doesn't like that. And the aim or the goal of these perpetrators is to silence these women.
Yes.
You know, and now, as I said, they can do it at the comfort of anywhere, you know, the comfort of their home, because you are just becoming a keyboard warrior. And remember, the internet, I keep saying, is a vehicle of the future, and the future is now.
Yes.
You know, and if anything, we've seen that the pandemic has underscored the importance of the internet, and we need more women and minority groups online.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the gender-digital divide keeps widening with each passing day.
Yeah.
Why is it? Online violence is one of the major contributors, and the worst part is we risk losing the voices of the next generation, because young girls will look at this and say, no, this is too toxic for me. Let me stay out of it. And you see, now we end up not reaping the digital dividends, because we are also knowing the internet, people are making millions, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. So how are we going to make sure we are telling these women that the internet is a powerful tool? Please be part of it. At the same time, that tool is being used against them.
Yes.
So which is which?
Yes. What are some of the effects that online gender-based violence has caused? I believe there's been a high increase in depression. Like the depression rates I believe in Kenya and Africa have become so high. Many people are suffering from depression just because of being bullied online or anything that's fueled by conversations around online spaces, WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter. So many people are depressed. Do you agree with me?
Yes, because online violence has now it has become a public health issue. You know, people are going into depression, as you said. People are going through mental health issues, and also there's something new nowadays. It's called FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yes,
you know. Yes, because you go online and you see your friends are on this part of the world, and you feel like if you're not part of it, so so that aggravates. You know, and that is the negative side of it. At the same time, the same consequences or the same issues that people go through on the physical world is the same thing people go when it comes to online violence. You know, you find people even getting eating disorders, and the worst part, people have died because of online violence. We've seen it before, not just if these prominent cases, even these cases which sometimes are not talked in the media. There's this girl who actually went and she committed suicide because she had just brought a story on her page or on Facebook. Buyers beware. People came out gun blazing, and you don't know even the story, and you are there attacking someone's child, and she committed suicide. A person who was learning, studying to be a doctor. So it is a public health issue, and if it is not handled right now, then with each passing day, it's going to become worse. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Cecilia. So who do you think should take responsibility for the issue? Does the responsibility lie on us, or who do you think?
This needs a multi-stakeholder approach. You can't say it's only the civil society who will be involved. No, we need the government, because we need political goodwill. First of all, when we look at Kenya right now, the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act, Section 27 talks about cyber harassment. However, first of all, the act does not define what is cyber harassment.
Yes.
2, it does not contextualize the crime. And 3, it has some element whereby it is infringing on freedom of expression. So the law also has to catch up with technology so that we can be able to put these perpetrators of online violence in their place. You go to a police station and say, I've been abused on Instagram ni nani. Also the police force needs to be educated. When it comes to ourselves, what are your digital habits? Because sometimes, what key role are we playing? What are your digital habits? Are you protecting your information online, or you're putting your information there? And that's why we need more digital security training. When it comes to even the church, so every voice is needed to be able to find a solution in this case.
Yes.
No one can act. We cannot continue speaking in silos. We need everyone to speak about it.
Yes, I agree. So how do you think we can be safe online? Through the digital safety and security tools, digital safe training, and which tools and applications do you think that can take care of us, can protect us from online gender-based violence?
Okay, first of all, I will say password is your first line of defense. How are you taking care of your password?
Yes.
What kind of passwords do you have? Do you have strong passwords? That is the first thing. And also, when we look at what has been happening around the world, these social media platforms the pressure has been mounting on them, and they are trying to come up with privacy features. Do we know about these privacy features? Do we take time to learn about these privacy features?
Are people educated on them? Yes.
Are people educated? Or are people educated on them? You as an individual, what initiative are you taking to learn about how to protect your information online? Because I can come and talk about digital security training all day long, but if you don't take the first step yourself to protect your information, then there is only so much I can do. So I keep saying, let's start with the responsibility, of protecting our information. We need more digital security training, and digital security training should not just be done. It should start from, because kids nowadays are online.
Yes.
Can we start teaching these kids about digital security?
Yeah.
It should not only be for grown-ups or women journalists or women politicians. No, it should cut across
everyone.
Board. Yes.
Yeah, I believe it should be introduced in the curriculum.
Exactly. It should be part of the curriculum. Yes.
When kids are doing their computer studies, I think they should also introduce the curriculum whereby they're educated on digital online training, all these things.
And you see now, we are here talking about how we want to make sure the next generation is digital. We talked about tablets. How are we preparing them for that platform when they get out of here? And that's why I said, if we don't do it now, we risk losing the voices of the next generation.
Yes, absolutely. And you see, in most cases, when you are attacked online or someone makes a snacky comment on your Instagram page or on your Twitter, your first instinct is to either block the account or report. Yes, that's just my approach. But do you think like there are other approaches where women should respond to online gender-based violence?
This is more subjective than objective. You find there are women who want to respond to these perpetrators. They want to respond to these trolls and put them in their place. There are two ways of looking at it. You could be feeding the trolls, and they could be using your platform to gain mileage. So you also have to look at, are they worth their time? Because also there's another way that I went for a meeting and people said, when you keep quiet, you're encouraging them. Because this content is looked at two ways. You can either look at it as abusive and infringing on your right. You can either look at it as harmful. So which way do you want to go? And I always believe, if you want to respond to a troll, make sure you respond in a very sensible way. You don't abuse them so that you look like you're part of them. Try and be the bigger person. Another way you can just decide is to ignore. And make sure that you protect your mental health. But remember, we are human beings. Hate hurts at all time. Hate hurts. Even when a stranger said something nasty about them, about yourself, there's a part of you that'll be like, why have they done that? So there are many ways you can
naturally we tend to remember the negative.
Exactly.
Negative rather than the positive.
The positive.
Comments. Yes.
So as I said, it's more subjective than objective. But I always say, if you feel like this person has become too much, block them. Unfollow them. I will not talk about reporting right now because I'm yet to meet anyone who has reported anything successful and they've gotten a response. No.
Yes, I don't think so.
I'm yet to.
Yeah, I tried from the accounts that I reported on Twitter.
Nothing. Yes, I remember one time I reported and then Instagram response tells me it's not abusive. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
So why was I even reporting in the first place? Yes. So I would say, choose what works for you.
Yes.
You'll find that people will engage with those trolls.
Yeah.
Yes, and engage them. But if you don't have the stamina, choose what works for you.
Yeah,
there's no one
peace.
Size that fits all. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another question that I want us to talk about is, do you think that the social media platforms that we use, do you think they should be held accountable? Like, I think Twitter has the biggest trolls. Do you think that they should be held accountable when, for example, a case whereby someone has been bullied online and they sorry to say, they end up committing suicide? Do you think Twitter should be held accountable for that misfortune?
Yeah, because first of all, this is their platform. What are they doing to engage, to foster healthy conversations on their platform? That is the first thing. However, another thing I always say, Vanessa, you have to know these platforms are on business. They're not there to protect you.
They're not here to protect us.
No, let's not lie to ourselves. It's a money-making venture.
Yes.
And sometimes I also think they like when there is so much commotion. Because now that one puts their platform, like Twitter really enjoys the limelight in this country because we know that's where the biggest trolls lie. That's where we say action is happening. So when you say that they're supposed to take care of, they like when they see, sometimes I feel like they like it when they see such things, but they should be taken accountable. Yes. They should, because this is their platform. What are you doing to protect these people who are on your platform? Because remember, if it's free, you're the product.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't ever lie to yourself. Oh no. Believe you me, if it's free, you're the product. So yes, they should be held accountable. Yes, they should find mechanism of keeping people safe online. And yes, it should be their responsibility full time to know how they can protect us on that platform.
Yes, I agree. Do you have any experiences with online gender-based violence? Have you encountered?
I've been abused on Twitter here and there because of maybe my political views and my feminist views. But that is part of the job.
Yes,
it comes with the job. It comes with the job. So I'm always prepared mentally for it. Of course, it's not a good thing. You always find yourself asking questions. But yes, and as a digital security trainer, I know how to protect myself. I've blocked people. I've tried to engage people. And when it becomes too much, I block them. Yes.
Myself, I'm not really active in a sense where I post most of my views and what I think about online. I choose what to post and what not to post. So I haven't really been affected with online gender-based violence, but I have seen people being bullied, people being trolled, and I mean, it's not a nice thing to experience. One of the people that I have seen lately who has been bullied online is a Instagram influencer. Her name is Rono. And I mean, like, people just post vile things about you. And I mean, yeah, I feel like there should be stronger laws that protect women online. And yes, in conclusion, I just feel like women need to be heard and need to be listened to. And laws, we need to come up with laws that protect women, stronger laws that protect women on online platforms. What are some of your recommendations that you can give?
As much as there would be the law, sometimes the law is a jargon. So also, what is civil society doing to educate the public on these laws? What are your rights when you're on the online platform?
Yes, in layman's language.
In layman's language, making sure Wanjiku understands what you're talking about. So if there are policies which have been put in place, do we understand these policies? And we also need to ask ourselves one of the most uncomfortable questions: why don't policies work? Because how many policies do we have and they're not working? We are doing them to tick a box. So people should be able to understand those policies. People should be able to understand those laws. To a point, if I'm abused today, I know what is the right channel to follow. I don't have to make a million phone calls to find out what I should do. Yes, that is the one thing that the government, with all these organizations, they owe us as people, because they keep telling us that we need to use the internet. And we found us that right now, it's a tool we cannot afford to be part of, especially now during this COVID-19. We found ourselves online, even when we don't want to be online because of the nature of our jobs. So we have to be part of it. Now it is becoming part and parcel of our lives. So when I'm on that platform, you as a government, what are you doing to protect me? What laws are you creating to protect me? Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for engaging me in this conversation. And we've come to an end. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I continue to say that every young girl and woman needs to be on the online platform. Let's get a chance to enjoy the digital dividends. Because if we are to achieve the SDGs, women have to be online. For all this to happen. But let us take care of those platforms before we tell them to be there. And the same platform we are talking about is being used to attack them and undermine them.
Let's use our voices.
Yes.